Hey guys, welcome to my newest review, and it's a big one. We're doing Final Fantasy VII, which I have just completed on my channel. Oh my god, I even got dressed up specially for this. Everybody who's watched the series on my channel, thank you so much. And if you've not, go check it out, subscribe to the channel, as we're going to play Final Fantasy VII Remake and then Rebirth once it all comes out. But let's just be upfront with this. Let's just be totally upfront. My review, Final Fantasy VII. It's an amazing game. It's simple as that. Review done. Not quite. I mean, there's a tiny few little points that I just want to mention about, but really, they're nitpicking. If I'm going to be honest, they're not big things at all. There's a reason why this game is seen as the ultimate, probably the best game ever made, debatably, but people love it, and there's a reason behind that, because the game is amazing, and it's no wonder it's got a proper remake and not just like a remaster. Obviously, remastering that might be quite difficult, but you know what I mean. I love it, and I was happy to be back playing it again. It's been years. I played it on the PS1. That's when I last played it, so it's been that long. So I was very happy to play in this again. And we're going to start with gameplay, and then we'll do story later. We'll just start with gameplay, because I feel it's possibly the area where there's the most number of things maybe to talk about, to nitpick, as we say. Obviously, the graphics are the big one. They're clearly more dated. It's the first jump to 3D of the Final Fantasy series, and it shows its age compared to now the 2D pixel remasters. In a way, they now look better than Final Fantasy VII does. The blocky characters are, it doesn't look great, but what I would say is, when I first started playing it, I was like, oh my god, they really are quite blocky. I don't remember them being like this. But quite quickly, that all went out the window. I sort of basically forgot about it, if I'm honest. It's not an important detail, but it does just show its age, and that's what I'm saying. It wasn't an important detail, and I was playing the game, and you know what the things are meant to be, so your kind of brain just sort of fills it in after a little bit. Well, mine did. I might have a weird brain. So the backgrounds are the pre-rendered backgrounds. They were still quite good. I think they still looked impressive enough, and it was only really it's just the character models. But them moving is obviously much harder to make. So for me, I think it doesn't really matter. Once you're playing it, you get over it, and that's fine. And the battle system I think we're talking about now is, I think it's the most polished of all the Final Fantasy games that I've played. So 1 through to basically 10 I've played in my time, except for 6. No, I haven't played 6 yet. But 6 is obviously a bit similar to the others. And for me, it is the most polished. I know I like Final Fantasy VIII, just saying, but I still think 7's battle system is slightly better. It just, it can be quite simple, and you can just play the game. You can just go through, you just get the materia, bang, 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 bang. But then there's all this complexity that you can add to it if you want to. There's materia that you get later in the game that have really weird properties. Things like final attack. So when you die, you do this certain attack. HP absorb, MP absorb, and you can level up your strategy, and it's kind of how I like to beat the weapons. So I like that thing. I don't really use it in the main game, because I just like to enjoy the game. I don't really think too detailed. It's why I don't play too many complicated games. I like simple games. But yeah, the active time battle, it was just good, and I really like limit breaks. I think they are the best in the series. Final Fantasy VIII, you get the I can't remember what they call them now. They're basically limit breaks, but you have to be like sort of low health, and it's kind of like a dying attack, which then makes it too hard to keep it. You don't get to do it very often. Final Fantasy IX, you basically have trance, which is effectively a limit break, and you just stay in that mode a little bit longer. It gives you a power boost, but you don't get that many special moves. So for me, Oh, sorry, I've just got something in my eye. Oh God. For me, limit breaks are probably the best. But yeah, so the battle system. So when I was fighting the weapons, it's you could create a system that just wiped the floor with them. Ruby, I did it first time. Emerald, I tried to be clever. I tried to be clever, it didn't really work. And then when I stopped trying to be clever and then went back to doing the system that I effectively beat Ruby with, wiped the floor with it's the second attempt. The first attempt wasn't quite there. I had to just amend it slightly. But yeah, you basically just put HP absorb with Knights of the Round and then just go for it and ignore everybody else. The rest of your team can die. Ruby, they have to. Well, they don't have to, but it helps. Emerald, you kind of have to do it. So yeah, I think for me, that it then trivializes battles. I like super bosses, but ones where you still have to fight it, where there might be a sort of system. So a mega weapon in Final Fantasy VIII, once you learn its moves, you know what to do, but you have to do different moves to sort of counter it. I like that more than just do one move all the way through, just keep repeating it and you're gonna win. I just think it's better. It just that makes it feel more of a challenge. And then the only other issue is to make these materia strategies work, you have to grind the materia to get mastered materia to get a baby materia of it. And at the end game, some of those materials take so long to master. It was unreal. And that I didn't really enjoy. It's kind of a balance because you don't want to get into the final battle and all your materials just mastered itself in no time at all, and you are just wiping the floor with everyone. You've got Knights around, you basically do that anyway. But you know what I mean. You don't want to make it too easy. But then I feel like they've kind of gone the other way. I would have liked the materia. I feel like the materia, they probably should have done the earliest you could collect it and then kind of timed it with the battles, especially the boss battles and however many regular random encounters you have. It should be maybe to a level 3 or 4, about to sort of master when you finish the game. I don't know how they would have done that, but I think that would have been a better way of doing it. Just meant you don't have to then grind, because I reckon you would get to level 99 or 100 before you would master some of the material, and then you'd be like, well, why the hell would I keep doing it? You know what I mean? But anyway, like, because you do the side quest, because I like the fact that if you do the side quest, when you get to the final battle, it doesn't make it easy, but it makes it sort of manageable. I'm not crazy, and I don't do one of those like super quick walkthrough, like run throughs where they basically don't do anything optional and don't fight anything if they can avoid it. So it's really difficult. That doesn't interest me. It's just difficulty for the sake of difficulty. You know what I mean? It's like, extreme Nuzlocke in Pokemon. Why? Why would you want to do it? Because you just I'd find it so frustrating, I think. But yeah, obviously I've talked about the super bosses and what I think they could do to improve them. And I feel like they have done in the later games, to be honest. But, it is what it is. So anyway, it's time for a story. Well, no, not quite like that. It's time to go to the story. And Final Fantasy VII is in the mind of many people as being the best, let's say one of the best games ever, but the best Final Fantasy. It's usually the conversation between 6 and 7. And I think for 7, a lot of it is to do with the characters and the story, specifically, and Sephiroth. Who doesn't love Sephiroth? Oh my god. Obviously, the main story is about Cloud getting revenge on Sephiroth and finding out who he really is. So who Cloud really is. Obviously, Sephiroth's trying to destroy the planet for whatever reason. There's so many like different little things, but I'm not, it's kind of the main story. And then as Cloud's doing it, he sort of makes some friends and they all come with him and everyone's like going to save the planet. Because you would, wouldn't you? Clearly. And there's obviously a bit relevant to today with like the draining of the planet's energy and, it could be oil and gas and let's not go into that stuff. Because that, it's a bit controversial. But yeah, save the planet, guys. I kind of like this planet, to be honest with you. A few more subscribers and likes and I can buy an electric car. Maybe. Lot more. But anyway, you obviously spend most of your time with Cloud, Tifa and Barrett. So they get a real developed story. Now, you do have to do some of the side quests to get the full amount of people's backgrounds. especially going to Nibelheim, which is where you get a lot of Cloud and Tiffers. But there, Cloud main character gets most of the story, and then Tifa and Barrett get a good amount, and then it kind of goes sort of down as the characters go. Obviously, Vincent and Yuffie are optional. That's the word. Optional characters. Yuffie effectively is just there. I hope Remake does her proud. But she's just kind of there, doesn't really do anything apart from trying to save Wutai. Doesn't really add much to the story. Vincent has a backstory that is related to the main story about Cloud and Sephiroth, and you can find out about that once you've got him. So I like that one. I do like that one, even if Vincent's a bit random. But then he obviously must have been quite important because he got his own game. Then after, so maybe it was more important than they kind of let out. But anyway. And then, so obviously you got the main three, then you got the two optional characters who kind of get the least, and then you've got Eris and Red. I would say they probably get a similar amount of story building. Eris, obviously, you lose at the sort of the end of this one. Red you keep for longer, but Red gets sort of two big time in bits where you learn about him, and that's it. Whereas Eris has sort of equivalent amounts. But once you've got Red, and once you've kind of got the main team, they kind of the other characters don't really ever sort of get involved too much with the main team. And then you've got Sid. Now, I just want to say Sid's a prick. He's an absolute arsehole in it. And I know the game's older, but I still feel in 1997, it was... People did, but guys knew not to treat women like that. And I really hate Sid. It annoys me. I'm not going to lie. It annoys me. He's just a prick. But he gets a little bit of backstory, very small, because basically it's just like, well, his rocket didn't go up, turned him into I'll call it twat. Sorry. But that's why he hates Shinra, and then when he can't go into space, he's decided, I'm going to destroy Shinra. So, random. But I hope Remake, my big hope for Remake is they build on the story. So Yuffie becomes actually integral. There's a reason why she's there, not just to help Wutai. I don't want it to be an optional side quest. I want Wutai to sort of be involved. More about Vincent, because he is important. I mean, the woman he loved birthed Sephiroth, so I want that a little bit more. And I wanted to fix Sid. Just, he can be disrespectful to women. You can't in real life, don't. But I mean, like, his character can be blaming his assistant and isn't very nice to her, but he doesn't have to just be so horrible. It's just what I just think. I think they need to find a balance where he can blame her and all her fault, and then eventually he realizes that it's not all her fault. But anyway, rant over. I don't want to keep going about Sid because it frustrates me. But yeah, story is one of the best. It is amazing, and you do get involved, and you want to play the game because of the story. I think that's what I was saying about the character models. You sort of forget about them. But yeah, so conclusion: is it a classic? Yes, it is a classic. Ignoring Final Fantasy VIII, which a lot of nostalgia for me is why it's my favorite. Do I think it's the best Final Fantasy game? Well, I haven't played 6, so I can't be totally sure yet. But of the ones I've played, yeah. I'm going to say, for me, I'm ignoring 8 because if I try and take a step back approach, I think Final Fantasy VII has the fewest issues with it and still has as many highs as the others. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII is classic. And it's why it's getting a remake, let's be honest. It's why it's getting a remake. There's a reason why it stayed so popular. It is an absolute classic. And I'm going to smash remake now. I'm going to go play remake. I've got a PS5. It's over there, that PS4. I've got to plug it in. But, you don't need to know that. I think it is a fantastic game. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Did you think Final Fantasy VII is the best? Or do you think Final Fantasy VI or one of the others? What do you think is the best? Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to read them, and I can't wait to play Remake and Rebirth. But thanks for watching my little random review, guys. Not really needed Final Fantasy VII, is it? Because it's amazing. But yeah, guys, please subscribe to Edar Gaming. and come back for more games. Cheers, guys.